as we begin a brand new week on this broadcast, and it's also the start of National Bullying Month, and we will get to that we'll get to the bullying story that I promised you on Give Break Saturday in just a minute. But first, imagine this case scenario. You're in the military, and you just won one of the medals, the Gold Wing Medal. Now imagine picturing yourself in a ritual, in that little hazing ritual in the military. On the season premiere, it's college hazing. This time, it's way different. You may have heard of the Gold Wing Pinion Ceremony. If you saw this clip on Dateline from back in 1997, I think I have it somewhere. It's got to be around here somewhere. Keep going down. Because I know a lot about this. Aha! There it is. During that time, they had videotaped this. And if someone was begging them to stop, please stop, would they stop? Or probably just a few bad men. I'm not playing in this, but I'm not going to play the whole thing, but what I am going to show you, though, is that tape. And I want people to
It looks and sounds like torture. But this is not a prison camp overseas. This young man is suffering on American soil at the hands of his fellow Marines. And no one is stopping it. They call themselves the Brotherhood of Gold Wings, and this is their initiation. Their price of admission is paid.
It's like do or die, Marines. Either you in or you out.
Do or die, in or out.
In or out.
That's a portion. That's a port. What I'm going to play you is the portion of the report, just a small to medium-sized portion of the segment. So here's the clip.
The man who made the tape told us it happened 6 years ago at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. As the hazing begins, 6 candidates are ushered into a back room, lined up against foam-padded walls, and surrounded by 30 men. Keep in mind, all this is happening right inside a military base. On this day, Tony Hilliard is among the first to be pinned. He gets through one, but there's a lot more punishment coming. Each Marine, one by one, will have a chance to inflict almost unbearable pain on Tony Hilliard and the others.
It's best just to holler, get your mind off of it. Do whatever you want, just as long as you get through all 30 of them.
And what does that prove?
That you're a Marine.
After 3 minutes, those being pinned are bleeding and screaming, but it doesn't let up. 5 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, the excruciating pain continues. Some try to fight off their attackers, but Tony Hilliard says there is no way out. If someone is begging for them to stop, please stop. Will they stop?
No.
Before it's over, each of the men has been pinned by every one of the 30 Marines in this room. An agonizing process that lasts more than half an hour. Torture, toasted with beer and celebration.
It's the connection. It's the bond, if you will.
There's another clip about this. There's another videotape. So let's look at that. So let's look at another videotape.
Listen to this tape made in 1993 as a Marine describes the tradition for a man he's about to pin.
What was told to me was, once your wings are pinned on you, only another gold winner can actually touch your wings.
For 45 minutes, drinking Marines do nothing but cause pain. They taunt him.
What we're going to do now, we're going to take a pause here, and we're going to put some barbs on it, like a fishing hook, so it don't fall out so easy.
They even bite him, lifting him right off the floor.
What's going on over here in the crowd, people?
They form a human ram, slamming their victim's chest as hard as they can. And when it's over, with his own blood on the floor, the young Marine is forced to guzzle beer until he vomits.
That videotape does not depict.
In my 6 years in all over 300 episodes of this show we've done, in all the 6 years, never have I seen such despicable Marines. And I respect the Marines. Never have I seen such a group of people who say, let's just do this hazing. We'll get away with it. But there are anti-hazing laws. What about those military laws? We'll have that. We'll play the clip. We'll play the whole thing this week. And probably, I'll give you my take on this. I've seen this several times, and I'm just outraged that this is happening. All right, coming up, our main focus. You're going to hear from the victims' parents who spoke out to Dr. Phil almost 10 years ago. It's a bully backlash, and a Dr. Phil exclusive, the bully's parents and the victims' parents. We're talking about KKK. And if you guys think you know what I'm talking about, you're thinking about tuning away, don't. I'll tell you what it means when we come back. Up front tonight, the KKK. Now, if you think it means the Ku Klux Klan, if you think I'm racist, this is not about racism. It's the Kill Katie Club. This happened 10 years ago to where these people, Giselle and Katie, came on Dr. Phil almost 10 years ago to talk about a bullying incident that happened. You're about to hear from the parent, the victim's parents, the victim, and the bully's parents. Now, the bully's parents say that he should be in jail. So, I'm not going to play the whole episode, but there are clips to this, and let's play the clips.
It's our day.
And this is also going to the Stop Bullying Speak Up group as well. If you haven't joined, you can find it in the description below, or look up on Facebook, Stop Bullying Speak Up. Because all this month, we are talking about bullying, and how to stop it and how to end it.
No idea. They Kill Katie Club. To me, when I heard...
So let's play it again.
I had no idea. They Kill Katie Club. To me, when I heard that, it seemed that they were going to try to find somebody to kill me.
What was your first reaction?
When I first got the call from the school, I tried to calm Katie. I didn't know if it was just this one girl saying things or if it was a real group. So I tried to calm her and told her we'd talk to parents and figure more out about it.
The parents you went to was Nick's parents, right? The folks that are here in the green room right now.
And we went to two other parents
Right,
also.
but this was one of the parents
the
you went
attorney.
to. And that didn't go well, that visit? It went well or didn't go well?
The visit went really well. His father opened the door, knew why we were there. He said, Nick came home yesterday from school, told me everything he had done. He said he was going to be arrested. I agreed that he should be arrested. I'm really disappointed in him because this had happened to his sister. He gave us a big, long story about the sister. And then he said, I support you in going to the police. And then he said, I'm going to do worse to Nick than anything the police could do. And then we heard from Nick within the hour, calling Katie to harass her on the phone, so I reacted. I have a kill club. I have a kid that just came home and said he was going to be arrested. I have a father that's confirming he should be, and the kid just called within the hour. It's my job as a mother to make sure she's safe, and I called the police.
So, but you're now being bullied and harassed.
Oh yeah, big time.
You must have been really important to them.
That's all I
If
was
they're,
thinking.
after 7 months, they're still dealing with you.
Yeah.
And so then you decide, all right, enough's enough. We're going to take this fight to the next level. What's the backlash been? What have they said about you taking this public?
Wow, we've received over 1,500 direct hate-related tweets, Facebook. They've said that I'm doing this because of a pageant I did 3 years ago. They've said that I'm looking for attention.
I understood that there was some conflict about a winter formal.
At the time, I thought this group was my friends, and so I didn't think it was going to be an issue. So I asked them, can I go with you to the dance? And they said, oh, you have to ask this person. So I asked, and then they said, yeah, you can come. You just have to get your own ride.
And when you mean go to the dance with them,
Like take pictures and go to dinner and hang out with them. And then the next day at school, Nick had called me to express his hate and told me, no, you can't come with us. We don't want you there.
so this was before the Kill Katie Club comment.
This is before we found out about it.
And what was the post you put up on Facebook in February?
I posted stupid bitches at Westview right after Nick had called me.
And you're not proud of doing that.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I take full accountability for it, though it wasn't right.
Good to go. I mean, good to know. But, But there's probably more to this story than meets the eye. So, take a look at this next clip, they'll take a break. Because I've watched the full episode several times. And believe me, they picked a fight with the town. Watch.
I've done everything I could to help the situation.
Did it work?
No.
Okay, so
Nothing
maybe
has
you're
worked.
doing the wrong things.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm asking you because at some point you have to step back and say, because I know before you went public with this, you said, and I know what you said because you sent me 2 3-inch binders that have a couple of thousand pages of information and data in them. And in that, you said, we spent 30 days talking about this, the two of you, before we decided to go public. Because we knew when we went public that there would be a huge backlash.
Yes.
And there has been a huge backlash.
Yes.
If you knew that as the parent, if you knew that, why did you choose that?
I helped Katie make the decision, but from my perspective, the bullying situation, until somebody's strong enough to stand up against it, if it's not going to be us, there's going to be an next target.
You've called out the school.
Yep.
You've called out the entire community.
Yeah.
You said this community coddles their kids. They don't believe they're doing anything wrong. I have no trouble believing that this Aurora shooter came from this community at this high school, and these parents don't want to look. They're blah, blah, blah. I mean, you just pretty much picked a fight with the town.
You bet. After I've had pretty much half the school berate me on the internet to tell me that this didn't happen, that my daughter's pain doesn't happen. When that Aurora shooting happened, my reaction was, I'm not surprised, because it seems that everyone around me wants to sweep it under the rug. They call it drama.
If I lived in that community, I'd be saying, hey, lady, you don't even know me. Don't be painting me with that brush until you know me. That's not fair. That's stereotyping, right?
I reacted too quick. There's some, well, I would say the majority of parents care. There are fabulous kids at this school. It's one group, and I did make a statement that generalized everyone into a group. It was a mistake. I was wrong. I admit it. I don't mean it. I made a mistake.
And she did make a mistake. So what do Nick's parents have to say about this? When we come back, we're going to hear the other side of the story. Did Nick get what he deserved? Their attorneys spoke out to Dr. Phil in an exclusive interview. We'll have that for you when we come back. New developments in Uvalde. Willie Nelson from Billboard.com. Willie Nelson tells Uvalde school shooting victims' parents it's not something you'll get over, but something you will get through. The country icon was speaking to Jackie Gears' family during a Better Old Root campaign event. And I'm very glad that he's standing up for the victims of Uvalde. How about Oxford? Nothing new on Oxford. The trial's going to happen this month, and maybe some delays, and we'll still keep you posted on what's going on. 4 days ago, BuzzFeed News, Brett Cross and other family members of victims from the Uvalde mass shooting are camping out. And just 6 hours ago, from the Texas Tribune, Governor Greg Abbott appoints the first school safety chief 4 months after the shooting. Governor Greg Abbott on today appointed former U.S. Secret Service agent John P. Scott as the TEA's first chief of school safety and security, a position the governor created in response to Uvalde mass shooting. 19 students and 2 teachers dead. In his new role, which started Monday, Scott will take every action possible to ensure schools are using best practices to safeguard against school shootings and other dangers, according to a press release from Abbott's office. So 4 months later, that's where we get some great news. I'm proud of that. More bully backlash when we return. Nick's parents spoke out to Dr. Phil the first time, along with the attorney. We're going to hear the other side of the story. Stay with us. There was a bully backlash that happened almost 10 years ago to when the Kill Katie Club happened, or KKK. It's not the Ku Klux Klan, it's the Kill Katie Club. I want to point that out right now. The KKK is not the Ku Klux Klan. The KKK is the Kill Katie Club, or KKC. How do these bullies deal with it? Now, the victims claim that Nick was the one who did this, so they went to the parents and say, oh, this, that. But they spent 30 days on this. So to recap, this all happened because of a pageant. And the school's like, oh, hey, no. Don't go to the meeting with this because this is all drama. So she claims everyone swept it under the rug because this is all just drama. And I agree. If someone's telling you don't go to the media with this, just go to the media. Now, what do the bullies, parents, have to say?
Have they been sued, Maria?
They have not, but there's...
So watch the interview with, listen to the interview with Nick's parents, along with the parents' attorney.
Have they been sued, Maria?
They have not, but there's been some pretty serious accusations made against their son, Nick. There's been 2 criminal investigations instigated by the mom of Katie, and those are pretty serious accusations. This boy has lost his job. He's been the recipient of bullying at school as far as people posting things.
Daniel, what do you want to say about this?
We've always been honest about what happened. We admit that my son Nick has admitted to the police that he said at one time, she said in her piece that I knew all about it, which is not true. If I knew my son had said something like this, I've said this to the detective, I've said this to Giselle herself. With the stuff that she was telling me, I said if he really did do this, he should go to jail. If he did, but he didn't.
What did he do?
Pause this for a second. If I started a hate group of my fans saying he's being too mean, they should just be shot or killed, that is a form of bullying right there. I would be arrested and put in jail. That I know about jail. That would be a great lesson for me. Sitting in jail, doing nothing.
He made a bad comment.
Which was what?
From what I understand that Nick said, when he saw the posts about Westview bitches, he said, I wish someone would start a Kill Katie Club. The other girl that he was speaking to said it should be Crazy Katie Club. putting the K sounding in both of them. Then he said, haha, KKK. That's it.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying what he said was right. I've never said that.
Well, I'm asking you straight up, is what he said wrong?
Yes.
Have you told him that?
Yes.
Is he sorry for what he said?
Yes. He's sorry that the way it was interpreted. That's what Nick is sorry for. Nick wouldn't want to hurt anyone intentionally. It could have been the BBB club. It was never intended to be linked to
Well, you said he wouldn't want to hurt somebody intentionally, but he
No.
didn't think that was going to make her feel good.
No, he didn't.
So he was not being empathetic. Now, this happened 8 months ago.
But
So why are we here now? Why is this still all...
well, the things that even Giselle has said this morning aren't correct. But when you went back to the winter formal, if Nick was truly a bully, Katie invited herself to that group. I feel bad for Katie. If I didn't have any friends, I would feel bad too. That must be an awful feeling. She invited herself to that group, and nobody wanted to step up and say, Katie, there's not enough room, because everyone is afraid of Giselle. So Nick said, I'll do it. He called her from his cell phone to her cell phone at school. And what Nick said was, he said, Katie, there's not enough room in the van for you to go. But if you meet us at the restaurant, then you can go with us from there. If Nick really wanted to bully her, he wouldn't have offered her any option.
So what do Giselle and Katie say? Watch.
And Nick made the phone call and said that, you just can't ride with us. And then she posted Westview bitches. Then, Nick got upset, and that was when the remark was made. Nick came home and told us everything that was happening. We talked about it, and, Katie probably feels bad. She doesn't get to go. Nick never mentioned that again. And then when she came to our house, showed up at our house, Daniel's like, who is this woman? So her saying that we didn't do anything about it, we did. We didn't think it was a big deal.
All right, Katie, is this the right characterization of this phone call that you got from Nick?
No, not at all. The story is so twisted. I asked my best friend if I could go with them, and she told me, ask another girl. So I asked her, and then I asked that other girl, and she said, yes, you just have to get your own ride. And Nick called me the next day at school and said, nobody likes you. You can't come with us. We already have reservations. And the whole group was there laughing behind him.
Do you define rejecting you as bullying you?
No. They called me to harass me and to hate on me. That was the bullying, not the rejection.
Well, Nick's sister Morgan is joining us in the audience in support of her brother. Morgan, thanks for being here. What do you want to say about this?
I go to SU High School, and I have had a lot of strangers that I don't even know, students at my high school, come to me with their own stories after all this has come out in the media about Katie bullying them. And I don't think the media has shown the side of Katie being the bully, and I just don't think that's fair.
Katie, have you, throughout your time as a student at this school or others, have there been occasions where you have bullied others?
I've gotten into arguments with people like every teen does, and I've said things I don't mean.
Didn't my brother make a comment that he maybe didn't mean?
Well,
What's
isn't it
any
funny
different
that how
from
in the
you?
police report he told somebody he wanted to kill me?
Has he killed you? No.
You said, has he killed you? Of course not. I know you're being sarcastic when you say that, but what he said, he should not have said. And you don't want to trivialize that. You don't want to minimize that. But by the same token, we don't need to blow it out of proportion either.
He made a mistake. He made a dumb comment. We've never said he didn't. She says that nobody's taken action. The police have come and talked to everybody. Everybody's been doing something, and the reason nothing's happened is because there is no club.
Do you believe, under any theory now, that there is an active club at school that still exists today?
Oh, we know it still exists. They are going around people, or around Westview, trying to recruit them to join a hate documentary.
Now, there's probably more about this hate documentary, and there are there aren't any more clips to, wait, there is one more. I think we have time for that clip.
But for anything that Nick has done, and he's not here, not because he's afraid of anything, but because we don't want to sensationalize this or put our son's picture out there any more than it already is. Okay, Nick's trying to focus on school, his grades, getting into college. That's what Nick's focused on. If my son said anything to hurt you, Katie, I apologize for him.
He's hurt me so much.
Okay. It's likewise, Katie. It's likewise. But you know what? I apologize.
And this is the first time I've gotten an apology.
Has Nick paid the price for this?
How this has negatively affected my son. This happened in February, Giselle. For 8 months, we didn't have to hear your name. We didn't have to even think about it. And then when it comes out on the news that a Westview student fears for her life and is removed from school, I looked at my husband and I said, oh my gosh, please tell me that doesn't have anything to do with Katie. Our son came in the room and we questioned him. He said, Mom, I have nothing to do with this. On Monday, I said, Nick, do you want me to go and talk to the principal? He goes, Mom, I don't have anything to do with it. Do you know what it feels like to get a phone call and have someone tell you, this is Detective Johnson. Your son has been arrested. He has been interviewed. Can you please come and pick him up at the police station? You know, Giselle, you've said that someone has to step up. You know what? I believe God has asked me to step up. This is not my platform. This is not what I do. But somebody has to stop you.
For you, this ended in February. For your family, it ended. It did not end for my family. Do you know what happened at Pop Warner Cheer? Do you know how they went after my younger? That's really funny, isn't it? She was an innocent 10-year-old child. It's not funny. Thank you for the smile, because this is what I face. I face people laughing at me as my daughter lays in bed crying, as my 10-year-old daughter, who didn't even know what was going on, comes home in tears because she said someone's going to kill Katie. She didn't know. You people don't know what it is like to receive tweets and texts and Facebook messages, to have your picture slandered online to 80 million people, to get phone calls that we have called.
Detective Johnson asked you, do not take this to the media, and you chose to do it.
And they're saying that now as he applies for colleges and people Google him, then his name comes up as a bully and that he's been arrested and all of those things. And so that his life has been impacted by this as well.
His name would have never been disclosed had he not chosen to step forward and disclose his name. I never once have disclosed a name.
But he stepped up and admitted it, and that's the reason that his name is out there. He is the one person that has stepped up and said, I was involved in this, and I admit that, and I was wrong.
Exactly. There are ways to look bullies. We're not gonna have time to. There is time. 1 minute video. Here's Dr. Bill's advice on how to deal with these bullies.
This is from Lana. What's the worst mistake parents make when their child is getting bullied? And what advice can you give to all parents today who face the same problem with their kids?
When you're being bullied, that is one of the loneliest times in a child's life, because the number one tool of the abuser is isolation. They isolate your child, and if they're isolated from you because you don't get involved, or because they're too ashamed to tell you because they don't want you thinking that people don't like them, so they hide it from you, then they can become very, very alone, and you don't want to leave your child alone when they're under attack. Secondly, don't run up the stairs of the schoolhouse with your hair on fire, yelling and screaming at the teachers. They're on your side. Bullies are smart. They don't do this in front of the teachers. They do it when they're not there. They do it behind the building. They do it in the halls. They do it on the internet at night. So they don't do it where the teachers can see it. The teachers are on your side. They want to help. So enlist their aid. Don't accuse them of being in this with the bullies. And then talk to your child and let them know that tattling telling is not tattling. They need to have an adult that they can go to for help.
Exactly. This is one of the inspirations why I created Stop Bullying, Speak Up on Facebook, to help people stand up to bullying. And this one, probably sometime this week, like I told you, this season we're going to do hand-eye coordination. I'm playing bully to see what it feels like when you play the game bully, if you are the bully. Because people are confused the game. Oh, are you the bully, or are you trying to stand up to bullying? Because people say it's just a game. You need to get a copy for your child. So if any parents out there who wants a copy, I'm going to try to give you a copy. When we come back, parents are calling on BCPS to prevent bullying. And it starts at home. Stay with us. Earlier today in Boston, there was a rally going on about bullying. Now, into the start of your school year, violence has increased. Bullying has become on the rise. But earlier today, there's been a rally and parents are there. So what do the parents have to say? Take a look.
Bullying needs to come to a stop. I am holding every school administration accountable for what goes on with these children in these schools.
Charles Neal is a local pastor who says the youth violence that he normally preaches about hit close to home. His niece attends Perry Hall High School. He says the high schooler constantly endures harassment from her classmates. The pastor shared this video with us. He says as his niece was getting picked up from school, a group of girls tried to jump her.
You take a young lady who wants to go to school and to achieve her education only to be faced with bullies.
On that evening, it could have went either way. My child could have been hurt, also the other child. And my concern is that neither child was protected in a way in which they should have been. That should have been de-escalated long before it got to that point.
Other parents had similar stories. Damon Stewart is a parent of a high schooler. He says he witnessed a few altercations on school grounds, and he worries for his daughter's safety. The father says if bullying isn't addressed, kids can bring the violence outside of the classroom, like the unfortunate incident of the 14-year-old Milford Mill student who was shot and killed after a football game.
I think we need to have more people in the schools to understand it from a psychological aspect, because these kids are not just coming here and it starts at home. You know, it starts at home, and I think it's a deeper rooted issue with mental health. You know, with mental health, and I think we need to have more resources.
And we reached out to the public school system to find out what they're doing to overcome this issue, but we're still waiting for their response. Live in Baltimore County for WMAR 2 News, I'm Nordea Lewis.
And it's probably still going on. It happens on the school bus. It happens in the classrooms. It happens outside of school. So if Johnny beats up Jane, Johnny beats up Jill outside of school, and his school's like, well, there's nothing we can do. Go file a police report. Man, that's cold. Educators, administrators need the tools so that this doesn't happen again. There are laws. There's laws that are being put in place. Laws have been put in place to make sure this doesn't happen again. And nobody is enforcing the law. No one followed the law. No one's enforcing the law. That's why if you feel like the school's not following or enforcing the law, you have the right to sue the school district. Or to take this to the media and say, hey, this school district's not following the law, not enforcing it, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, if you feel like they're not doing the same thing, you have the right to you have the right to go on the media and just throw them under the bus and say, hey, this will teach you a lesson. There is probably more bullying, and on Wednesday's broadcast, A man confronted the superintendent claiming that he was bullied. As probably a child. We'll hear from him. And if you got stories you'd like to share about when you were bullied, you can share them on Facebook or in the comments below, or as well as in the comments below. And you can also read my newsletter article, my article from our newsletter, which is givemebreak.substack.com, with lots of tips and information, as well as a video that really outraged me. Also on Wednesday, I'm going to show you a clip from 2020 that talks about this, an incident that really happened. So here's a sneak preview of Wednesday. Here's a sneak preview on Wednesday.
Kids being bullied, sometimes to death. It is a story you see in nearly every headline today, but sadly, it's a story we were covering as long as 18 years ago, right here on 2020.
And yet there's certainly nothing old about this problem. In fact, it seems the passage of time has only made bullying worse. Listen to this. 160,000 kids a day miss school because they're too afraid to go. But it only takes one child lost to destroy a family. Until now, you've heard mostly about the victims, but tonight we'll also hear from the bullies themselves. Why do they do it? And more importantly, what do they say is the solution?
That's on Wednesday. That's all for this edition of Give Me a Break Monday. We will see you again for Give Me a Break Wednesday. And as always, stop bullying, speak up. If you stand up to bullying, you too can be a hero. Goodbye, everyone.